The most dangerous money mistake I ever made was thinking wealth was mainly about income. Earn more, invest more, work harder, buy better assets. That sounds smart. And honestly, part of it is smart. But then I started noticing something strange. Some people had high income and zero space. Some people had impressive job titles and no time. Some people had expensive cars, nice watches, and perfect vacation photos, but behind the image was death, anxiety, pressure, and a life they could not slow down from. That bothered me because I used to think the goal was simply to become rich. Then these books made me ask a better question. Rich for what? Because wealth is not just what you own. Wealth is how you think. Wealth is what you can ignore. It is how you spend your time. Wealth is whether your life still belongs to you. So in this video, I want to share the books that change how I think about wealth and life. Not because they gave me some secret formula. There is no secret formula. The real value of these books is that they change the operating system. They change how I think about money, work habits, investing, freedom, suffering, success. And if you are ambitious, if you want to build wealth, improve your health, make better decisions, use AI wisely, and eventually build a life with more freedom, these ideas are not just nice to know. They are practical. They affect what you do on Monday morning. They affect what you buy, what you avoid, what you build, who you become. Let's start the first book. Book number 1, The Psychology of Money. The first book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book changed one major belief for me. Money is behavior before it is math. Most people think money problems come from not knowing enough formulas. Budgeting formulas, investment formulas, valuation formulas, tax formulas. And yes, those things matter, but a lot of money problems are not just spreadsheet problems. They are behavior problems, ego problems, comparison problems, fear problems, patience problems, lifestyle problems. You can know the right thing and still do the wrong thing because someone else bought a better car, because the market dropped, because your friend doubled his money in something you don't understand, or because you felt behind and what tend to prove you were doing well. This is why money is so emotional. Nobody's making financial decisions from a clean laboratory. We are all carrying personal history. How our parents talked about money, what scarcity felt like, what success looked like in our neighborhood, what our friends admire, what social media tells us we should want. This book made me realize that wealth is often invisible. This expensive car is visible, the designer bag is visible, the luxury is visible, but the emergency fund is invisible. The index fund is invisible. The debt you avoided is invisible. The investment you did not sell during panic is invisible. The freedom to say no is invisible. And that is the hard part. Most people are tempted to spend money on visible proof instead of invisible freedom. Here's the line I would use. The richest looking person in the room may not be the wealthiest. Sometimes the wealthiest person is the one nobody notices. The idea is dangerous in a good way because once you understand it, definition of your success starts changing. You stop asking, how do I look rich? You start asking, how do I become free? That one question can save you years. Here's the practical framework from this book. I call it the invisible wealth test. Before buying something expensive, ask, am I buying this for utility or identity? Will this purchase increase freedom or pressure? Is my lifestyle growing faster than my assets? Am I optimizing for appearance or options? That last question matters, appearance or options. Because a lot of people trade options for appearance. They buy the image of freedom while reducing their actual freedom. The fancy car with the huge monthly payment, the condo that stretches the budget, the lifestyle that requires constant performance. That is not wealth. That is a subscription to pressure. Real wealth is quieter. It is having choices. It is having margin. It is not being forced to say yes to everything. It is sleeping better because your life is not one emergency away from collapse. That is the first lesson. Money is not just a math. Money is behavior. And the highest use of money is not its status. It is control over your time. Book number 2, The Richest Man in Babylon. The second book is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. This is an old personal finance book written through parables. At first, it can feel almost too simple. Pay yourself first. Spend less than you earn. Make your money multiply. Protect your capital. Increase your ability to earn. You read it and think, that's it? Yes, that's it. And that is exactly why it works. A lot of ambitious people want advanced strategies before mastering basic behavior. They want options trading before emergency funds. They want private equity before budgeting. They want 10-bagger stocks before consistent saving. They want passive income before active discipline. But simple rules obeyed for a long time beat complex rules performed occasionally. That is the uncomfortable lesson. Simple money rules look childish until you realize most adults still don't follow them. This book reminded me that wealth is not built by intensity alone. It is built by sequence. First, you create the surplus, then you protect it. You invest it, then you increase the earning power. Then you repeat long enough for compounding to start doing the heavy lifting. Most people break that sequence, then try to invest money they have not saved. They try to scale income while expenses scale faster. They chase returns without protecting downside. They confuse being busy with increasing earning ability. So here is the Babylon mind ladder. Step 1, of course, pay yourself first. Before the world gets paid, your future gets paid. Step 2, control expenses. Not because you should live a miserable life, but because every unnecessary obligation reduces your freedom. Step number 3, make money multiply. Savings alone are not enough. Money needs to become productive. Step 4, protect against loss. A 50% loss requires 100% gain. Risk management is not boring. It is the survival. Step 5, increase earning ability. Your income is not fixed. Skills, reputation, judgment, communication, and leverage can raise it. This book is powerful because it removes your excuses. You do not need to be a genius to start. You need discipline. And that is good news because discipline can be trained. Book number 3, The Essays of Warren Buffett. The third book is The Essays of Warren Buffett. This changed how I think about investing. Before learning from Buffett, it is easy to see the stock market as a place where prices move. Red, green, up, down, candles, charts, predictions, noise. But Buffett pulls you back to something more grounded. A stock is not just a ticker. It is a piece of a business. That sounds simple, but it changes your behavior. If you are buying a business, you ask different questions. You stop asking, will this go up next week? You start asking, how does this company make money? Does it have a durable advantage or moat? Can it survive bad years? Is management honest? Is the price reasonable? Would I be comfortable owning this if the market closed for 5 years? The last question is beautiful because it exposes whether you are investing or just renting an opinion. Most people do not own assets. They borrow beliefs from crowds. When the crowd is excited, they feel smart. When the crowd is scared, they panic. Buffett's writing teaches you think like an owner, not a gambler. And this applies beyond investing. Think like an owner with your career. Do not just ask, what salary can I get? Ask, what skills am I building that become more valuable over time? Think like an owner with your health. Do not ask, how do I lose weight fast? Ask, what body am I building for the next 20 years? Think like an owner in your content. Do not ask, how do I go viral this week? Ask, what body of work will still be useful 3 years from now? The owner mindset is patient. It is grounded. It is not easily seduced by noise. Here is the owner's checklist. Before investing time, money, or energy into anything, ask, do I understand how this works? Does it have long-term value? What benefits if I make this decision? What can I go wrong? Can I hold this through boredom? The boredom part is underrated. A lot of good decisions become difficult not because they fail, but because they get boring. Index investing is boring. Walking every day is boring. Eating mostly whole foods is boring. Publishing consistently is boring. Saving money is boring. Reading difficult books is boring. But boredom is often where compounding hides. The market is loud because people trade prices. Wealth is quiet because owners study the value. That is a Buffett lesson. Book 4, Poor Charlie's Almanack. The fourth book is Poor Charlie's Almanack, based on the wisdom of Charlie Munger. This book changed how I think about thinking. Most people try to solve problems using one lens. An accountant thinks like an accountant. A lawyer thinks like a lawyer. A marketer thinks like a marketer. An investor thinks like an investor. But Munger's point is that reality does not care about your profession. Reality is multidisciplinary. A business problem may involve psychology, incentives, accounting, technology, law, human, ego, timing, and luck. A health problem may involve biology, environment, identity, sleep, stress, and social pressure. A money problem may involve math, but also fear, family, patterns, status, and impulse control. If you're thinking narrow or your decisions become fragile, Munger teaches mental models. Not to sound smart, to avoid being stupid. And that may be the most underrated form of intelligence. You do not need to be a genius if you can avoid obvious, stupid mistakes. That line can save a portfolio. It can save a business. It can save a career. It can save a relationship. A lot of life improves when you stop doing obviously dumb things. Stop spending money to impress people who are not thinking about you. Stop investing in things you do not understand. Stop ignoring sleep while trying to perform at a high level. Stop taking advice from people who do not live the consequences. Stop confusing confidence with competence. Stop entering games where the incentives are against you. That is Munger thinking. Here's the Munger filter. Before a big decision, ask, what are the incentives? What am I missing? Where could I be wrong? What would the opposite argument say? Is this truly simple or just simplistic? That last one is important. Simple is good. Simplistic is dangerous. Spend less than you earn is simple. All that is bad may be simplistic. Invest for long term is simple. Any stock will work for you if you hold long enough is simplistic. Exercise daily is simple. Destroy your body every workout is simplistic. Munger helped me respect better judgment. Because hard work matters, but hard work with the bad judgment can dig the hole faster. Ambitious people do not only need more effort, they need better filters. Book number 5, Atomic Habit. The 5th book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book changed how I think about change. Most people try to change their life through motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect Monday. Perfect plan, app, notebook, version of themselves who wakes up at 5 a.m., drinks water with lemon, writes in a journal, meditates, lifts weight, reads philosophy, builds a business, and somehow never gets distracted. That person is a fiction. Real change is less dramatic. It is smaller, more practical, more environmental. Atomic Habits teaches that tiny actions compound, but the deeper lesson is identity. You do not build habits to only get outcomes. You build habits to become someone. One workout is proof that you are the kind of person who trains. One saved amount is proof that you are the kind of person who builds wealth. One published post is a proof that you are the kind of person who creates. One focused hour is a proof that you are a kind of person who can direct attention. This matters because identity is stronger than motivation. If you see yourself as a healthy person, healthy choices become more natural. If you see yourself as an investor, saving and investing become part of who you are. If you see yourself as a creator, publishing becomes less emotional. You stop asking, do I feel like it? You start asking, what does this identity require? Is this the identity habit loop? Decide the identity, choose the smallest proof, make it obvious, make it easy, repeat it until it becomes normal. For example, do not start with I will become extremely fit. You start with I am the type of person who does not miss movement. Then prove it with 10 push-ups, a walk, or one gym session. Do not start with I will become wealthy. Start with I am the type of person who pays my future first. Then automate saving or investing. Do not start I will become a writer. Start with I am the type of person who writes before consuming. Then write one paragraph before opening your social media. The goal is to make the right action easy enough to repeat. Because repetition builds that identity, and identity builds destiny. You don't become disciplined by feeling disciplined. You become disciplined by designing fewer escape routes. That is the habit lesson. Book number 6, The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. The 6th book is The Almanack of Naval Ravikant by Eric Jurgensen. This book changed how I think about wealth, leverage, and freedom. Naval ideas hit differently because he does not define wealth as just having money. He connects wealth with freedom, ownership, leadership, specific knowledge, judgment, long-term games. That matters because many people are working hard, but their income still depends on their hours. And if your income depends only on your hours, your freedom has a ceiling. You can be highly paid and still trapped. A doctor, lawyer, executive consultant, or freelancer can earn a lot and still have a life where every peso or dollar requires more time, more energy, and more availability. That is why leverage matters. Leverage means your effort can produce results beyond your personal hours. Media is leverage. Code is leverage. Capital is leverage. People are leverage. Brand is leverage. AI is leverage. Video, a newsletter, a course, a software tool, an investment portfolio, a system, a team. These can keep working when you are not physically present. That does not mean they are easy. Leverage often takes years to build, but once built, it changes the game. Here is the freedom leverage stock. First, specific knowledge. What do you know that is valuable, rare, and hard to copy? Second, accountability. Can you put your name behind your judgment? Third, media or code. Can you create something that scales without asking permission? Fourth, capital. Can your money work alongside your labor? Fifth, long-term relationships. Are you playing with people who compound trust? Sixth, clear judgment. Can you make good decisions without being constantly pulled by fear, ego, and noise? That book made me think differently about career and business. The goal is not just to earn, the goal is to build assets around what you know. Your knowledge can become content. Your content can become trust. Trust can become audience, and audience can become products. Products can become income. Income can become capital. Capital can become freedom. And that is the modern wealth path for many ambitious people. Not overnight, not easy, but possible. Especially with AI, media, and the internet. The dangerous version is chasing the passive income without active mastery. The better version is this: build rare skills. share useful ideas, create assets, use leverage, play long-term games. That is how work becomes wealth. Book number 7, Man's Search for Meaning. The 7th book is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This book is not a money book, but it may be one of the most important books for ambitious people because eventually ambition runs into suffering, failure, rejection, loss, uncertainty, pressure, seasons where the plan breaks, seasons where discipline feels heavy, seasons where the thing you wanted does not feel the way you thought it would feel. Frankl's message is not soft. It is not just be positive. It is deeper than that. He shows that meaning can help a person endure what comfort cannot. That matters because a lot of modern life is designed around comfort, convenience, entertainment, avoidance, distraction, but comfort alone does not make a life meaningful. A meaningful life is usually includes responsibility, service, sacrifice, commitment, love, work that matters, people who need you, problems worthy of first rank. This book made me ask a different question. Instead of only asking, what do I want from life? Ask, what is life asking from me? That question changes your posture. It makes you less entitled, more responsible, more grounded. Here's the meaning. Audit what responsibility is life asking from me right now. Who needs me to become stronger? What suffering can I transform into service? What would make this season meaningful, not just comfortable? Those are heavy questions. But ambitious people need heavy questions because success without meaning becomes empty fast. You can win the promotion and still feel lost. You can build a portfolio and still feel restless. You can grow the audience and still feel insecure. You can earn more and still wonder why it does not feel like enough. Meaning gives ambition and a soul. Comfort is nice. Meaning is stronger. The system these books gave me, when I put these books together, I do not see a reading list. I see a system. The Psychology of Money taught me money is behavior. The Richest Man in Babylon taught me discipline beats complexity. Warren Buffett taught me think like an owner. Charlie Munger taught me improve your judgment. James Clear taught me build systems before relying on motivation. Naval taught me use leverage to build freedom. Viktor Frankl taught me choose meaning, not just comfort. That is the wealth and life operating system. Money is behavior. Discipline beats complexity. Think like an owner. Improve your judgment. Build systems. Use leverage. Choose meaning. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. The best books do not just give you information. They change what you notice. After reading these books, you notice when you are buying status instead of freedom. You notice when you are chasing complexity because you lack discipline. You notice when you are trading like a gambler instead of thinking like an owner. You notice when incentives are shaping your decisions. You notice when your environment is stronger than your motivation. You notice when you're selling too many hours instead of building leverage. You notice when your ambition is becoming disconnected from meaning. That is what great books do. They install better questions, and better questions create better lives. So here is a simple checklist you can use. Before making a money decision, ask, will this give me more freedom or more pressure? Before chasing a goal, ask, do I want this or do I want to be seen having this? Before investing, do I understand the business, the risk, and the price? Before building a habit, ask, what identity am I proving? Before choosing work, ask, does this build leverage or only consume time? Before pursuing success, ask, what meaning does this serve? Those questions are worth more than another random productivity trick because the real goal is not to read more books. The goal is to become the kind of person these books are trying to build. A person with patience, judgment, discipline, freedom, responsibility, meaning. A person who can build wealth without becoming owned by wealth. A person who can succeed without needing constant applause. A person who can use their ambition without being consumed by it. That is the point. Not to look successful, not to collect quotes, not to become the person with the longest reading list, but to live differently because of what you have learned. If you want a place to start, do not read all of this at once. Pick the one that matches your current bottleneck. If you keep making emotional money decisions, read The Psychology of Money. If your finances are messy, read The Richest Man in Babylon. If you want to invest better, read Buffett. If your decisions need sharpening, read Munger. If your habits are inconsistent, read Atomic Habits. If you want freedom and leverage, read Naval. If life feels ever directionless, read Frankl. Read a book that solves current constraint. Then apply one idea for 30 days, because reading without application is just intellectual entertainment. And ambitious people do not need more entertainment disguised as self-improvement. They need transformation. So here's the final lesson. The books that changed my life did not teach me how to chase more. They taught me how to choose better. Better goals, better habits, better investments, better questions, better sacrifices, better definitions of success. Because wealth is not just having more. It is needing less, owning your time, thinking clearly, building wisely, and living for something that still matters when nobody is clapping. That is the lesson I keep coming back to. Build wealth, yes, but build a life that wealth is actually worth serving. And if you like it, I also invite you to join my free email newsletter. I create and write about self-mastery to achieve freedom on health, wealth, and fitness as well, on intelligence, making better decisions, and now with AI. So see you there. Just visit kevinumali.com/free. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. Put a comment down below. Any questions? Let's have a discussions. I would love to reply to that personally. And see you on my next video.